Meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Hamilton Gazette, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater Building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. Have an opening prayer?
Let us pray. Dear God, as we come before you today, may our actions be guided by fairness, integrity, and compassion. We ask for your blessings upon this meeting so that it may be productive and harmonious. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag. Attention salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Chairman, Commissioner Corsi is unable to attend today, and Commissioner Kern is attending virtually.
Thank you.
Bertino,
Here.
Burns,
Here.
Gatto,
Here.
Kern, Parker,
Present.
Risley,
Here.
Ruffio,
Here.
Days.
Here. Commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from January 21st, 2025. I will entertain a motion to adopt the January 21st minutes as presented.
So
Second.
Call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern, Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Anyone attending in person who would like to speak regarding an agenda item or a public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town where you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you are attending virtually and would like to speak, please raise your hand during the agenda item or a public comment at the end. I will call upon your name and a request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. So at first, we have a presentation regarding the Central Municipal Court of Atlantic County
Thank you.
by Honorable Mark Sainz.
That is me. My name is Mark Sanson. We're here because approximately 3 months ago, we were making a presentation, I think, putting another person on the Criminal Justice Advisory Board, of which I'm also a chairman in another reality. And I was asked about, I think it was Commissioner Bertino said, well, why don't you make a presentation to us about the Central Municipal Court? And I said, great. I think we put something together for you today to show you where we are and where we're going. I'd like to introduce people who are going to talk. I'm going to first call on Michael Blee, who is our beloved assignment judge. Now, Michael, I'll give you the news in case you don't know it. Michael is basically on his way out as assignment judge. It's not because of the various complaints I've been putting in writing over the years, but it's because he has been promoted is, I guess, not an adequate description of what's happened to him. He is going to, effective April the 1st, be the what is it called? Acting director? Director, you're gonna be the director. I'm never sure whether it's acting director or they can be acting for a long time, but of the administrative office of the courts. The administrative office of the courts exists in Trenton and runs the entire court system. It has over 9,000. Come in. It has over 9,000 employees. It's a gigantic job. Michael is, I'm totally bummed out that he's leaving Atlantic County. He's still going to live here, but we're, unfortunately going to not be able to take advantage of many of his services for us. But I'm going to grab him to help us with the municipal court. Trust me. We also have Ayanna James from Jewish Family Services. We have Andrea Steinberg, who is the president of executive director, CEO, sorry about that, of Jewish Family Services. So we brought them in because we're going to deal a lot with the social services that we're offering through the court, which you've heard about, but I think you really need to hear firsthand the amazing work that they're doing. And also we have Mike Fedorko here. Sometimes I wonder why, but no, Michael and I go way back, and he's never liked me, but I like him. And he's going to talk about certain law enforcement issues that he's aware of by virtue of his job with the county. First, Mike, why don't you come in and you're first.
Thank you.
I'll say thank you, Judge Sanson, too. And we appreciate
Judge Sanson's relentless with his support of Central Municipal Court. Also, what's called our jobs program. So we get people that are on probation or diversionary programs jobs to try to get them to reform their lives, keep them off the streets. He's presented at Judicial Council, where I sit with the Chief Justice and 15 assignment judges on our jobs program. He gets paid this amount of money. He wants to serve, and I thank him for all he's done. So when I was asked to speak, I couldn't say no, despite my new position. Real quick trip down memory lane of being in this building. As a young attorney, I sat in that seat where Ken Warren is. Commissioner Risley was still there. But as we become, as a judge and as a solicitor, I really learned from elected officials like you and leadership. How great was it as a young lawyer to sit next to Dennis Levinson, who was the chairperson of this commission, Kurt Conover, Jim Curcio, Joe Salapina. It was just a great experience, something that I think created, work ethic and also a sense of fairness that I hopefully bring to my position as the assignment judge and as the director of the AOC. To talk a little bit about Central Municipal Court, I'll talk a little about my background, why it's important. So first, I speak on behalf of Judge Grant and the AOC. Consolidation is something that we all believe in, that we're trying to encourage. This was created through legislation initially. It doesn't happen in the northern part of our state. We are sort of a target district. It was a collective effort of senators on both sides of the aisle to establish it. I stepped into Central Municipal Court my first day on the job as assignment judge. My predecessor, Judge Mendez, was very emphatic that this was the right thing to do. Judge Sanson was involved. We put it together. Like anything, we had some growing pains, but those growing pains, I believe, have been addressed through a lot of different ways. One, through the great support of the county, Jerry Del Rosso, and County Council, Ms. Hughes, Mr. Murray, and their predecessor, Mr. Ferguson, have been just given tremendous effort to keep this operation going. Secondly, we need legislative changes. When we initially started, all the cities had to handle all state police cases, even if those towns were not participating. I was told the idea behind that was to try to create an incentive for those towns to join. In fact, to create a disincentive. Created a logjam of cases. We're all about moving dockets. The idea is to get to that case. And it created a problem, a revenue problem. With the help of Senator Palestina, that legislation was changed in breakneck speed in about 6 months. Then we realized that there was loss of revenue. The way life works, I was up watching the reappointment process. Senator Palestina is there. I said, I'd like to meet this woman, Jackie Suarez, head of DCA. Talked about the court. About July, I got a call on my back deck. Judge, I remember you asked for money. How much was it? And I said, I'll get back to you. And $1 million was brought back through the DCA to defray some of the costs from those towns. I want to thank Solicitor Warren. There were some discussions about Hamilton Township perhaps doing a different deal. They've decided to stay, and hopefully it's continuing. And the last part of my conversation with DCA is that there are more monies available. But that would be for the recruitment of bringing some or other county towns into our system. You all have friends and colleagues that are municipal officials. Many of you served as municipal officials. Talk to them, encourage them. And the last thing I talk about really is justice. And you're going to hear with the dollars and cents Jerry's going to talk about, but justice in terms of services. And I'll speak from personal example. I was then a young prosecutor for the city of Absecon. There was a gentleman who clearly had mental health issues, liked to fight with cops and liked to play basketball in our courts. I looked at him and said, this guy is obviously, he needs help. Wasn't easy. He got in a fight with officers. Listen, do a diversionary program, get him help. Does it, remains law abiding, we'll dismiss the charges. I cut was probably an illegal deal at that point, Judge Sanson. But anyway, we did that. And the problem is we had no way to track whether that individual was getting those services. So it escalated. Somehow he became obsessed with me. Thought I was, the Atlantic County prosecutor. I was not. I was just a municipal prosecutor. Sued me in federal court under the Magna Carta. You all may remember my brother Frank, who at the time was an assemblyman and also a chiropractor, happened to treat the young man. He used to leave Western VHSs, Westerns on the doorstep. My brothers and I loved it. We watched John Wayne movies. It's terrific. That then turned into pornography. At that point, we decided maybe we should report that. And he ultimately was arrested. He was trying to torch his parents' home. So what do we learn from that? I also sat, as Judge Sanson did, in recovery court. We see people in recovery court that are at wit's end. They've been through so many different stages of criminality because of their addiction. You're saying you don't want to do 5 years, you want to get help. This idea is to get to people early. Get to that guy that was playing basketball. Try to get them in services with the support of JFS to avoid those types of things. So we like to see a twofold savings of taxpayer dollars, which everybody wants. Uniformity and justice too. I was a prosecutor, public defender for Morgan and Brigantine, private attorney, municipal court judge, Northfield and Linwood. What did I learn? Unfortunately, back then, each little town did not necessarily apply the rules uniformity. That's not right. That's unequal justice. In a central court, we can make sure that we provide uniformity and justice. So pleasure being here. Happy to answer any questions anybody has. And then we have other people who want to present, and I'll hand it over to Judge Sanson.
Thanks. I'd like to get right to, we're going to get to the financial aspects in a moment, but I'd like to hear from JFS now. Andrea, why don't you come up and introduce yourself and introduce Ayanna, and I'm going to try and disappear. Tell them what we've been doing. She has some statistics for the last 3 months.
I'm Andrea Steinberg, the CEO of Jewish Family Service, and this is a proactive and human approach to solving problems. So I just want to commend all of you for your support in making to support a solution that makes sense. And to Judge Blee's point, we are tracking all the information, so we actually can talk about the outcomes. I do have some copies of a report, but I'm going to turn it over to Ayanna James to talk a little bit about the boots on the ground.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ayanna James. I'm the director of our Justice Involved Services at Jewish Family Service, and I oversee the Central Municipal Court program. So brief overview of what it is. I know Judge Blee let you know the higher level aspect of it, but on the ground, it is a referral source for those individuals who have charges out of Central Municipal. Any of our local towns that are in the Central Municipal Court. So what they do is they'll complete a comprehensive assessment to see what the individual needs to help divert, to help decrease any other charges to be accumulated over time. We typically have between 20 to 25 cases a month, but currently in the month of January, we have 22, which is keeping up with our average. We have an at-risk initiative day at Central Municipal Court, which is for individuals who would be considered high system users, and they also have a lot of charges. So what the judge is trying to do is trying to help them get connected to service, see some progression with the services, and then from there decide to either dismiss charges, well, the prosecutor dismiss the charges, or lower the charges to something like a disorderly persons offense. So in January, we assisted 18 individuals on that given day. Outside of that, the ladies that are there at Central Municipal Court hold a caseload, and they have done about 87% case management outside of the court. So that is contacting other court systems to get warrants recalled, see if they have court dates, help get linked to social services outside of just JFS. If they need domestic violence support, if they need addiction support, making sure to be in contact with those individuals so that there is a progress update when they have to go back to court. We also on ARI Day gave out food bags, which equated to about 450 pounds of food for individuals. A lot of the individuals that are on ARI are homeless and don't have the means to feed themselves. So we wanted to make sure that while they were there for a long court day, at least have something to eat and to go back with. And then outside of that, 96% of the clients that we have avoided accruing new charges. I think, that's a great number. It's not 100, but we will get there. But in 2024, 96% did divert. Newsflash, that's wrap. So JFS as a whole helped the community with applying for the state rental assistance program. Out at the court, I helped on ARI Day, but for the criminal justice programs that I oversee, we did about 85 applications.
Thank you. You're doing it's an unbelievable job. And you can't do this in 23 courts in Atlanta County. It cannot be done. So we're seeing a lot of people, we're delivering to you a better municipal court. And I went to actually Jim Ferguson and I went to virtually every municipality in Atlanta County where we were invited. We were excluded in about 3 or 4 of them. They didn't want to see us because we were conveying dangerous information. But Jim Bertino probably knows where, he can guess anyway. But the reality of it is, the municipal court system is ideally situated to get people at a very age of their criminality. They're not in superior court where there's all sorts of draconian penalties that sometimes judges can't do anything about. To send an 18-year-old young man or young woman to state prison is a very, very difficult situation. So I want that person to be diverted before they get to me. And generally, as a recovery court judge, I would see people by the time they got to me, 10 or 15 probationary sentences. There was a warning as to what was happening. There were alarm bells if you knew how to look at them. And where did those alarm bells first sound? They sounded in the municipal court system, which simply does not have the capability to do what we're doing. What you have to understand, and I was told at the beginning when we started to try to sell municipalities on this program, stress cost savings. Now, Jerry Del Rosso, who's here, Judge Blee is totally aware of this. Jerry, maybe you have much more credibility than I do because I'm a lawyer. So all right. What we used in calculating the cost of municipal courts for the towns that have joined was a average of 17, 18, and 19. Right. We didn't want to use the COVID years because that would skew the whole thing. There were many fewer cases in COVID years that they just went in the backlog. The total cost of operating the 10 courts that we now have was $2.9 million. And obviously, the larger municipalities had larger costs, and that wasn't even all in. They didn't calculate the cost of having their police officers waste a day or two a week. Oh, God bless you. Waste a day. That's okay. Waste a day or two a week. Sitting in their court. Today, the budget for these same 10 courts is $1.6 million. So it's almost 50%. 45% actually, but I always say almost 50% because, one day I want to sell cars. But the reality is it's a humongous tax savings. So if you have, what the job of government, I don't need to preach to you guys because you're walking the walk, whereas I'm only talking the talk here, but is to deliver a valuable service at the best possible cost. And as I have said always, what's the objection? Let's join the real world here. The real objection to this court is the issue of home rule. And it's a difficult one that all of you embrace every day in the towns that you represent. And I understand home rule, but I don't think people understand how much it costs. Consolidation of this function of justice within a county in the municipal courts makes a lot of sense. It's cheaper, it's fairer, it's higher quality. Plus you can do the kind of things that JFS does. Frankly, Atlanta County is way out in front of the rest of the counties in New Jersey. When we try to get this legislation passed, and Judge Blee is well aware of this because he was helpful in that process, it's only, I think, 6 counties in New Jersey that have the possibility of doing it, and guess where they're all located? You're never going to guess. South Jersey. In North Jersey, they did not allow a county to organize a municipal court because home rule is so entrenched in North Jersey, that they wouldn't have gotten the votes necessary to allow this to happen. So the question is, what do we do? Do we allow the system with 23 courts and 23 municipalities and 23 judges, 23 prosecutors, all of whom are good people, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt. We hired, when we take a town in, we interview every single person who works there, and we'll continue to do that and take the best people. Many of them are close to retirement. If we can help that process along, we'll do it. And the question is this a function of government? I'd like to, Mike Fedorko's here, and maybe, Mike, you can talk about the law enforcement aspects of having a consolidated court.
Excuse me, if Commissioner Bertino, I think, had a question or a comment.
I'm sorry.
No problem, Judge. You know, when I look at the numbers you guys are throwing at us about how many people went through the court system and how so many of them were helped and they didn't go back.
Yes.
Do the courts have in Atlantic County the numbers based on the other court systems on their recidivity if they're
Recidivism?
Yeah.
I don't know if they keep that stat. I've never seen the stat, but I will tell you a rule of thumb. There's a huge amount of recidivism in municipal courts. And what happens is there's 3 status crimes that people that are not usually one and dones, but they're alarm bells. They're alarm bells that there's worse things happening. One is, of course, addiction, substance abuse, and it's filled with substance abuse cases, and that's usually not one and done unless you do what? Unless you get them into treatment. Addiction is a treatable disease. It's treatable through going through the programs that are readily available, and JFS can identify and have some teeth in it to have a judge say you have to go to this treatment. Right? There's domestic violence is usually not a one and done problem, unfortunately, and it gets worse and worse and worse till ultimately somebody is very seriously injured or killed, and then it's too late. And then there's huge jail sentences. The other thing is, and maybe perhaps the biggest, is mental health issues. And if they are not addressed early, then you're going to have crime committed upon innocent members of the community and tremendous amount of damages. And this program is intended to deal with that.
I think what you were saying, and that's why I'm asking you a question about the rest of the towns and stuff. I think when you're talking about the major selling point, the advantage that you guys provide because you have the services sitting there and you could direct them in that direction
Right.
initially before it gets blown out of proportion or they go back for additional charges. I didn't know if the court systems track any of that. And
No,
apparently
because
don't.
they have. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know. So in addition, as the assignment judge, I support all consolidation. So Hamilton has a joint municipal with multiple entities there. They do provide services. That was one of the things I mandated. Since I started, Atlantic City and Pleasantville have now consolidated. They do provide services. The question, though, and I think I know the answer, but we will get back to you, is I don't know that they have the tracking mechanism that JFS does in Central Municipal Court, because when we set it up, it was really under the advice and direction of the Administrative Office of Courts. And what we do, and that'll be my new post, is we need to have hardcore data to see if these programs are viable. And I don't know the answer. I did say, there were some towns that wanted to move. You have to come up with a service plan. I just don't know if it's as effective.
I assume they do have the service plans because I know like Hampton particularly does. But as you stated, they're not tracking anything. They just send them off to
Correct.
jail.
Correct. Key is
They send them here and then they leave. Then if they're coming back to court with additional charges,
Right.
it's just new charges. Nobody's looking at how the benefit is and how you guys, as far as your record goes, which is you can quantify it. The other towns can't. I think it'll help too in some of the towns that the police charges go back to the towns when the legislation was changed.
You're right,
I
Commissioner.
kind of
Right.
suggested that to somebody that they
Yeah.
actually do that because that's all freebies, which that's why they were cherry picking the types of services the courts want to get if you want to be technical
Correct, yeah.
about it. So
And 96% recidivism rate is extraordinary. And the impact is A, the individual, B, the impact on your community. So say it's someone that's code enforcement, a hoarder, and they have mental health issues. Stop that. That stops a lot because your code enforcement, that's their resources. Your law enforcement, all the repetitive offenses that are not violent, but they take away from them doing, law enforcement and stuff that's serious, and I lived it. You have the neighborhood quarrels with someone that has mental health issues. They're in court. No one really wants to harm them. But if they don't treat the symptoms, it's just going to continue.
Yeah. And Jim, you're 100% right. It's the case management system, which is what they bring, what JFS brings to the table. Everybody has a file on, they follow them from court to court to court to court, because sometimes they're not just in Galloway, let's use that, they're also in Buena and Hamilton, so you have to follow them all through, and they're, the Trail of Tears all the way through the county and sometimes into other counties. So they can track this, they can find where a person has been arrested throughout the state, and they can address those issues within the court setting. This is what the court should be. And the other thing, and I don't want to deal with the money, but the money is a big deal. I mean, that number you gave us, 1.6, that $1 million we got this year has not been factored into that yet, correct?
Well, Northfield was allowed to go to Hamilton. So in order not to hurt any of the 9 additional towns, we used the $1 million, $115,000 offset the Northfield costs.
Right. And Mike and Judge Blee has indicated, there's no promises, but there is indicated at DCA that if we get other towns in, there'll be additional monies from DCA. They have consolidation grants. Let's talk about consolidation for a minute. Everybody wants consolidation in government, right? If I asked every one of you individually, if we're having lunch or something like that, are you in favor of consolidation? Everybody says yes. But in the government context, consolidation is not pain-free. I guess it's not in business either, to tell you the truth. But the issue is you guys are representing taxpayers who I just had to pay my taxes today. I know how painful that experience was for me, but, and nobody's feeling sorry for me. You're not feeling it, right? All right. So, but the reality of it is, I don't have to preach to the choir here, but, we can get more money from outside because Atlantic County has really gotten this program off the ground. It's working great. We owe a lot to JFS. We owe a lot to all the people who are involved. And, who runs this court? The mayors of the towns that are in the court run the court. They pick the judges. They pick all the people. We're down to the fact they pick all the people that work in the court, in the court function, the administrative levels, right, Jerry? They're the ones that do it. The county really doesn't do anything in that. Jerry just holds the money. That's what he's doing and tries to make sure it's spent prudently. So that's really the deal. Mike, you want to talk about law enforcement for a second?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Before I start, I just want to say unlike Judge Sanson, I follow the Winston Churchill rule, who said, no speech is bad if it's short. Also, before I start, I want to just commend the sheriff because he is doing a fantastic job out there. My department pays for the salaries of the sheriffs out there, and I spend a lot of time out there, and he is doing a fantastic job. From a law enforcement perspective, the big thing for a chief or a superintendent of police is to keep the police out on the road. And that has always been a problem, at least when I was a road trooper in the last century. That's a joke, by the way. I got it. We got it.
But it's true.
And some of the well, we call them barracks then. They're not barracks because nobody's living there. But in some of the stations that I worked at, you would have 20 courts that you had to, you would write tickets in the courts, and some of them were 45 minutes away. So you're not on the road enforcing the law, protecting the public. And that's a big thing. Now you can do it from, if the chief allows it, you could do it from the car, or you can do it from, some chiefs, I guess, want you to come into the station and do it. But like for the state police at the expressway, the parkway, Buena and Woodbine, it's some of those courts are quite a distance from where they work, and that's a problem. So I think from a police perspective, this is really a home run, and I hope it's something that continues, and I hope more towns get involved in it. So that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dovetailing something that Colonel Fedorka mentioned and Judge Sanson. So the role of your mayors, I stepped into a situation where the Atlantic County Sheriff's Office were going to supply the action for Central Municipal Court. We're trying, they were not seeing, the towns were not seeing the bang for the buck that they wanted, and they felt that the amount of money they were paying to the Sheriff's Department was excessive. We listened to the stakeholders, went out to bid, a private entity came in. A lot of people weren't happy about that. Sheriff Joe O'Donoghue came in and indicated, I believe in the system and I'd like to bid on it, Judge. And I said, well, it's about dollars and cents. It was nothing to do with your services. They protect me every day. And to his credit, looked at the staffing model, sharpened his pencil, came in and outbid the private security group, which makes some issues in law enforcement even better. And he served as a township commissioner in Egg Harbor Township, and he supports this. So it's really nice to have the Sheriff's Department as our partners in Central Municipal Court as well.
Okay, so the question is, what do we want of you? What we want of you, you all represent various municipalities. You work with mayors, you work with council people, you work with chiefs of police, so forth and so on. You're all respected members of the community. It's our intention to go out. The more people who are in our system, the more money that will be saved. It is an economies of scale situation. We're already saving 45%. We can save a lot more than that. The first year, I think the stats are we saved Egg Harbor Township something like $800,000. I mean, it was some humongous amount of money. But the reality of it is the more people are in, the more we'll save. That's true in every consolidation system. We're willing to work with personnel issues. We do it all the time. We're willing to have whatever judges want to be judges apply in our system, because if we get more towns in, we're going to need more judges and prosecutors and the public defenders. All of those are obviously paying positions. So it's our intention over the next couple months to go back on the road. And I'm going to go back to the towns that kicked me out the first time and try to sell the program. I think it's a really good program. I think it distinguishes Atlantic County because of Judge Blees. Discussions with DCA, I think we can get money imported in to help us pay for it, so the savings will even be greater. So if you can help us out, that'd be great. I'm available anytime if you want to call me. 609-703-5204. Give me a buzz, and I'll go anywhere. I've been everywhere, and I will go everywhere and go to meet. Mike will come with me, won't you, Mike? There you go. So at least I know I'll be safe when I go there. And Judge Blee, to the extent he has, I mean, look, Judge Blee, I couldn't do it. I mean, I don't work for the court system anymore. I'm a retiree, but I couldn't do this without Judge Blee. That's why I begged him to come today, and he did. So that worked out. Is there anything else you want to say, Andrea or Ayanna? Okay, they're doing it beyond it. When Mike says 96% non-recidivism rate, I will tell you that that if they kept the statistic, they probably don't, kind of on purpose. It would be probably a 80% rate of people, recidivating. Because you see, they call them frequent flyers in the municipal court system. You see the same people who are hanging around all day, doing the shoplifting, doing this, doing that. It's mental. It's usually people with mental health issues, addiction issues, and those are the people we have to treat. Because treating them, not only is it the humane thing to do, it's also a way of protecting the community. And I think we can do a better job at both those things. Thank you very much. If there are any questions now, we're ready, willing, and able to answer them.
Yeah, thanks. Judge, fantastic presentation by everybody. Thank you so much for all of your work. I think all of us are huge advocates, I think, of the program. And I think what I love about a presentation like this is for our taxpayers, if they actually do watch a meeting for fun, like some of them do, they'll get a lot of good information. For us, I would love to see, I don't know if we do, Jer, an annual report on the success of the court. For example, the stats, Ayanna, that you read out. I would just love, I couldn't get them fast enough, but just a quick hit sheet on those.
Well, that's easily fixable. Here's I think we have enough copies for all.
Yeah, but my point is, it would just be great. Thank you. Something that we not only could have on our website, but that we could also have kind of a one-pager as we visit our constituents. Hey, I think it's seven, is it 7 towns in right now?
It's
Nine.
9.
Okay. Now I don't have to remember all those, right?
Right.
Like 9 towns in,
Right.
96% success of non-recidivism, almost $1 million saved. You know, just the quick hits on a topic like this to share that success in our partnerships
Right.
with a public-private entities, right? It's
Yeah.
such a great shining example of working together at all levels of government to accomplish something for the common good. So I would just love, and I always ask this for any program, Jerry knows, you know, what's the success statistic?
Yeah.
And I loved that we had them for this. And I always ask about it for any program, anything we get a grant for. So I would just love us see an annual report that, you know, could get done, that we have every year updated stats, and we can easily be an advocate to people and not just say, yeah, it's great. It's great because bam, bam, bam.
You know what would mean a lot to us when we make these visitations that we're going to make to 13 municipalities or 14 municipalities. If it's in your district, love for you guys to come with us and to hear us out and to maybe say anything if you feel that it's in the taxpayers' best interest. Because in the end, who it's the public that's going to benefit from this program.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm at large, so whatever town, let me know.
I'll grab it. You can come. Thank you very much, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think your last comment is important. You know, the numbers are great, but we're talking about lives and neighborhoods here as
Yeah.
well. So
That's
I
what we're talking
appreciate that. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Derek, can we get this put?
Bye, Judge.
Jerry, can we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
this
right.
put on the web?
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to see that.
Awesome. All right. Ordinance 1.
Ordinance amending ordinance number 7 adopted on April 21st, 1998, which added permitted purposes for which monies in the Atlantic County Open Space, Recreation and Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund can be utilized. Final reading.
Moved.
Second.
All right, moved in second. Since this is a final reading, are there any commissioner comments? Any comments or questions for the public?
We'll
Roll
have to
call.
Open it up for public hearing, right?
Well, that's for public
Okay.
comment,
All
right?
right, sorry.
So, there's no public, no one online, no one, anybody in the public? All right, then we'll close public comment and call the roll. Motion to close, okay. Motion to close in second.
Somebody motion?
Yep.
Yes.
I
Second.
move it.
Second.
We're not allowed to say motion, member.
That's right.
No song, yeah.
I move it.
All right. Call the roll, please.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern? Parker?
Yes.
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Moving on to resolutions, resolution
Now
52.
you move to adopt.
Oh, okay, sorry. Gotcha. I'm playing catch up here. What I get for trying to read ahead. I had motion to adopt.
So move. Second.
All right, roll call.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. I'll get it. It's the first
Yeah,
first
no
ordinance,
worries,
so
no worries.
we'll get there. Now resolution 52.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program to purchase 3 electronic speed feedback signs. Funded amount $28,125. County cash match $9,375.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Risley.
I'd just like to make the statement that all of these money issues were discussed at the budget meeting and we all approved.
Sounds good. Recommend. I made a recommendation from the committee. Any other commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll, please.
Bertino?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
Ruffio?
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 53.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program to purchase 3 highway digital message boards, funded amount $57,375, county cash match $19,125.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Okay, call the roll, please.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 54.
Amending Resolution Number 644, adopted on December 17, 2024, a grant from the State of New Jersey Office of Information Technology for the Next Generation 911 GIS Support and Data Collection Program to reflect the reduced award amount, net decrease $8,786.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Okay, call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 55.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Transit, Federal Transit Administration to accept Section 5310 fiscal year 2024 operating assistance funding, amount not to exceed $77,000.
Move. Second.
And seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any public comments? Call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 56.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Historical Commission for the County History Partnership Program, amount not to exceed $90,000.
Move. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 57.
Grant application and acceptance from the Schools and Libraries Division of the Universal Schools Administrative Company to accept E-rate grant funding, amount not to exceed $218,400.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 58.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of State Division of Elections for the primary and general election day 2024 grant program early voting, amount not to exceed $177,559.25.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 59.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program for the Shared Services County Coordinator Program, funded amount $75,000, county in-kind match $54,000.
Move. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 60.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs through the Local Recreation Improvement Grant for the provision of new portable radios for 4 municipal beach patrols. Funded amount $88,605.40. Municipal cash match $9,000.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments?
Just briefly,
Yes, Commissioner Risley.
Chairman, is that I think this particular allocation of money and funds will be well spent and may even save some lives. So it's important that we have communications on the beach. Thank you.
Agreed. Any other comments, commissioners? Any public comment? All right, call the roll, please.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Moving on to professional services, Resolution 61.
Professional services agreement with various law firms for the provision of legal services in the area of employment investigations, amount not to exceed $300,000.
Move. Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 62.
Professional services agreement approving the selection of attorneys to serve as municipal public defenders in the Central Municipal Court of Atlantic County, amount not to exceed $81,120.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Call the roll, please.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 63.
Amending Resolution Number 18, adopted on January 16, 2024, a competitive contract with Monarch Housing Associates Incorporated for the provision of homeless consultant services to reflect the county's cash match. Funded amount $53,000, county cash match $12,500.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 64.
Renewal competitive contract with Jewish Family Service for the provision of a Head Step Down program, amount not to exceed $102,000.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, call the roll, please.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 65.
Renewal competitive contract with Jewish Family Services for the provision of a Heads Case Management Program, amount not to exceed $60,200.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Call the roll, please.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 66.
Renewal competitive contract with Atlantic Prevention Resources for the provision of the 6th and 7th grades gun violence prevention program at amount not to exceed $65,700.
Move.
second,
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 67.
Renewal competitive contract with Atlantic Prevention Resources for the provision of the gun violence prevention program, amount not to exceed $40,000.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Okay, call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 68.
Competitive contract with Rehab Professional Services Incorporated for the provision of physical, occupational, and speech therapy services to the residents of Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, amount not to exceed $520,000.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 69.
Competitive contract subgrant agreement with Brigantine Aquatic Center for the provision of the arthritic water program pursuant to the Older Americans Act Area Plan Services fiscal year 2025 at 50% funding, amount not to exceed $3,500.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 70.
Competitive contract with Barron Jewish Older Adult Services for the provision of senior center site manager services and furnishing of kosher meals for the Herman Pogashevsky Senior Center in Atlantic City, amount not to exceed $144,120.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 71.
Renewal competitive contract with Abel's Cleaning Agency Limited Liability Company for the provision of cleaning services at the county libraries and the Cronin Dental Center, amount not to exceed $132,450.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Grizzly.
yes,
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 72.
Competitive contract with Catalyst Sports and Land Records Limited Liability Company, formerly New Vision Systems Corporation, for the provision of software maintenance for all licensing and web hosting services for the Atlantic County Clerk's Office. amount not to exceed $635,010.24.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? I know our clerk is here. Mr. Charlie, do you have anything to? No. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well said.
It's even-
I said at the meeting the other day, if you don't pass this, we're out of business.
Fair enough. Anyone from public comment? No. Please call the roll.
Martino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 73.
Amending Resolution Number 561, adopted on November 12, 2024, a bid contract with Keefe Commissary Network, Limited Liability Company for inmate commissary services for the Atlantic County Justice Facility to reflect the correct cost of kits, revenue generating.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Moving on to change orders. Resolution 74.
Change order number 2, a contract with Kisby Lee's Mechanical Limited Liability Company, trading as Kisby Shore Corporation for HVAC upgrades at the IT UPS room at the Anthony Canale Fire Training Center to extend the term date only, no additional cost.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 75.
Change order number 5 and final, a contract with South State Incorporated for the replacement of the Nakoti Creek Bridge, County Route 610 over Nakoti Creek, PR 7 in the city of Port Republic. Net increase $2,154.35.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 76.
Change order number 3, a contract with South State Incorporated for the replacement of the Lakes Creek Bridge, EH 29 on Means Landing, Summers Point Road in Egg Harbor Township. Net increase $44,613.66.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 77.
Amending Resolution Number 480, adopted on September 5th, 2023, a lease agreement with s and T Realty Limited Liability Company for warehouse space to be utilized by the Atlantic County Division of Facilities to extend the term date amount not to exceed $12,000.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 78.
Resolution authorizing acceptance of a deed from 7800 Ventnor Avenue Limited Liability Company to restrict vehicular access to Block 105, Lot 25 on Ventnor Avenue, County Route 629 in the city of Margate.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 79.
Indemnification and hold harmless agreement with 7800 Ventnor Avenue Limited Liability Company concerning non-standard improvements to be constructed and maintained within the county right-of-way of Ventnor Avenue, County Route 629 in the city of Margate.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 80.
Intergovernmental agreement with the Juvenile Justice Commission for the provision of a heads electronic monitoring program for youth awaiting adjudication, amount not to exceed $65,222.
Moved.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 81.
Intergovernmental agreement with the Juvenile Justice Commission for the provision of the Atlantic County Family Crisis Intervention Unit, amount not to exceed $151,144.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 82.
Intergovernmental agreement with the Atlantic County Division of Probation for the Enhanced Outcome-Based Supervision Support Program, amount not to exceed $5,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Okay, please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 83.
Agreement with the Youth Advocate Program on behalf of the Community Engagement Committee for funding through the State of New Jersey Juvenile Justice Commission, amount not to exceed $14,820.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Okay, call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Gatto. Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes.
I'm a yes too. Sorry.
It's fine. Resolution 84.
Intergovernmental agreement with the Juvenile Justice Commission for the provision of a detention diversion coordinator, amount not to exceed $20,000.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 85.
Agreement with Maldonado Britt and Associates LLP for the provision of psychological evaluation and treatment for adolescent sex offenders, amount not to exceed $15,750.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 86.
Resolution to terminate the agreement with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated concerning the reconstruction of Mill Road, Section 1A through 1B in Egg Harbor Township.
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bertino.
Yeah, just a little bit of explanation on this, why we're doing that. Apparently, this was a project that we had on the books years ago. There was some maintenance bonds that were put in place during the last few years. Since that project was completed, the repairs were done. So I think it's almost 10 years that they've been doing this. So we have to take action to release them from the maintenance bond that they had put up for us.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
Ruffio.
Yes.
Stace.
Yes. Resolution 87.
Shared Services Agreement with Ocean County for the housing of juvenile detainees at the Ocean County Juvenile Detention Center, amount not to exceed $474,500.
Move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Parker.
Through you to Jerry. Jerry, I see a lot going on here with the JJC, or at least several of these resolutions going on with the JJC and juvenile detentions. And I know that's been a hot topic. Could you just give like a briefing of what is this what we're passing today for the public? Can we at least give them a little bit of what we're doing here?
The county is responsible for Harbor Fields. We own the building, but we have a contract with the Juvenile Justice Commission to actually administer the program. It's a detention program for youth under the age of 18. The building is rated at 20 beds for youth. We, during the course of, I guess, the last, say, year or so, we got up as high as 42 youth that were committed to a detention facility. So there are 6 other facilities in the state of New Jersey that we have placed kids in. We place them, it's everybody: Middlesex, Bergen, Ocean, Morris, and Camden. So these are you'll see these as they come up. You'll see this is the renewal with Ocean. I think we have 2 kids still there. So that's where we're not allowed to exceed our limit at the building. We have 20 kids. We've been trying to keep the number of kids at Harbor Fields to less than the 20, 18 generally, because we never know when a kid's going to get picked up. And then rather than have to take a kid to either Bergen or Middlesex or Morris or Camden, we were able to take that kid overnight. But we have more kids out in the field. I think we now have 7 or 8 kids out in the field in other facilities.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 88.
Alternate method contract with Computer Square Incorporated to provide annual software maintenance service for InfoShare records management, amount not to exceed $57,100.
Move.
Second.
Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 89.
Alternate method contract with Christopher St. John Esquire of the Law Office of Christopher St. John for criminal litigation, amount not to exceed $30,000.
Move.
Yes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Resolution 90.
Resolution to rescind Resolution Number 692 adopted on December 17, 2024, an alternate method contract with Civil Solutions Geospatial Services for 911 GIS data collection for municipal dispatch centers.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Anyone from the public? Please call the roll.
Bertino,
Abstain.
Burns,
Chairman Dees, I abstain.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. Appointments. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 91 through 93.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any commissioner comments?
Chairman Dees, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody that volunteers. And again, as I say often, you guys, when we're out in the community, we need so many more volunteers on our advisory boards. It's how we get things done, and we have everybody out in the community hearing what our needs are. And we need more volunteers.
Sure,
Thank you.
definitely. You're welcome. Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Any comments from the public? All right, please call the roll.
Bertino,
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Grizzly,
Yes.
Ruffio,
Yes.
Days.
Yes. We've received copies of written communications and petitions. Are there any commissioner comments, anything you'd like to share?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Parker?
I know we all, through you to Jerry, I believe all the commissioners have received an email from a young lady named Terry, that's all it said, and had some questions about Lake Lenape, the Lake Lenape East Park.
Lighthouse.
Oh, wait.
The lighthouse. Can we at least put something out to answer?
Yes, I
What
will,
we're
I
doing
will,
there.
I will respond there. So basically, when we decided, the county decided to renovate the Lake Lenape, we bought it, and they decided to do development out there using open space. The executive went to a group of residents in Hamilton Township, and they asked them, what we were going to do there. And one of the issues raised was the lighthouse. And lots of discussion. There was a group decided that after that conversation that they would raise funds. That person.
Because the county chose
because
to
we-
keep it out of scope.
Correct. It
Because
was,
the funds we were using to renovate the park.
correct. It was
I wanna be clear about that. Yeah.
It was $500,000, and the county was not going to spend $500,000 to renovate the lighthouse. It's not a historic structure. And we just decided that we would take something, we would take it down and do a replica of the lighthouse, which they did not like. It wouldn't have been the same height, the same circumference, whatever. So they said that they would raise the funding. to renovate the park or the lighthouse. They were not able to, I'm $6,000 is what I think they raised. Then there was another individual who was questioned. They said that they would be able to raise around $400,000. That person did raise $400,000. The township came back to the county and asked the county if we had space out at the Lake Lenape. If you're familiar with when there's a large event where all the parking goes on. Well, if you look at what would be probably, I'm assuming the most northern piece of property that we own out there, they asked if they could put a dog park there. They got an engineer to look at that. It would cost around $150,000. And so the person we met at the park said, we're willing to take the property. It would cost about $150,000. So we're going to take $150,000 from the 400, leaving $250 for the lighthouse. There was an election person, I think, was unhappy with the results of the election and left, is what I understand. And so we're not sure what happened. I received a phone call from a resident of the lake. That individual said that they were going to get a contractor to look at what needed to be done with the lighthouse. I think the general feeling was the lighthouse structurally was unsound. They had somebody look at that, and it's more sound than everybody actually thought. So it was really more the exterior that had to have work done.
And
They came back to the county executive and said to the county executive, we've talked to your staff, and your staff have told us that you have money left from the development of the park. And we did. I think it was around $93,000. Would you be willing to put that money into the park? County executive said yes, meaning for the lighthouse, yes. And that's where it is today. They were supposed to come back. That individual was supposed to come back to me with an estimate of the work that had to be done. They never did that. That's where it's been. I mean,
just to clarify that.
Yeah.
I mean, it still needs the 400,000. So I was working with the individual, and we were trying to see, is there anything we could do to shore up the roof to stop leaking? Anything else we could do with that little bit of money that is available, but to mobilize the machinery on that beach that you would need, the mats, the machinery to get to the roof. It really isn't financially feasible to do that small an amount of a project for that money without doing the rest. I mean, it drives up the whole total cost. So we've been at a standstill because the large donors that we did have lined up did pull out after a lot of other things happened. So, and at this time, the county hasn't expressed an interest on spending another $400,000 out there.
So moving forward,
yes.
what's our plan moving forward? How long are we going to wait for the other interested parties that said they wanted to maintain this structure to come up with something? Or is the county willing to come in and say, listen, we waited long enough, we're going to make a decision on whether we're keeping it, not keeping it, whatever we're doing with it,
I've been directed to demolish it. If we had a decision on to renovate it or take it down, we'd rather take it down and put a replica or do something else there. There was a discussion about with the township at the same time, putting something like a bandstand out there or other kinds of things that might have been existing in that park years ago. So they have thrown that out at us. I mean, we're willing to entertain those ideas, but I mean, to ask the county, I'm only telling you what I've been directed to do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners want to discuss written communications and petitions? All right, moving on. Any reports of special committees of the board?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner got it.
Yeah, we did have a shared services committee meeting this week for the purpose of starting the conversation on countywide tax assessment. I forget what Terry wants us to actually call it.
County-based
County-based assessment, sorry. So I think we had a good discussion, kind of walked away with, in my line of work, we always think about things, people, process, technology. So people perspective, we talked about people needs we need at a county level and some training needs we have for our existing assessors in the county. Technology, talked about some new technologies available out there and training on those technologies across the county. And then from a process perspective, we talked about a couple pieces of legislation that we would need to revise to kind of make everything work and come together the way we think it would best work. And I see Joe Berg back there from the senator's office. So Terry and her team were going to summarize some of the legislative needs that we had, and we'll be getting that over to our state legislator's office to work together on that. So the good news is I think we already had a good basis because of all the work that John and prior committees have done in the past. So it was a good refresh and a good chance to say, okay, what are the next steps? So we're taking those next steps, and we will continue to meet regularly and report back to the board.
Awesome. Sorry, Commissioner Risley.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent about an hour and a half on a long talk with our county tax administrator. And she wants to basically try to modernize and use aerial maps and use a lot of things that we have in the past. And of course, the piece of legislation that Amy was talking about is basically doing away with interior home inspections. For all practical reasons, here we are in 2025, and we're looking at going into people's homes, and of course that's not a popular thing to do, and many people refuse to allow the assessors, the data gatherers, to come in and rate their home and so on and so forth. So we're trying to get a piece of legislation to waive that in the state, or at least as a pilot in our county possibly, or whatever. Years ago, about 10 years ago, we came up with a report that myself, Mr. Bertino, Mr. Days, and some other people, attorneys, we put a lot of time into this project, a lot of time. We're very proud of it. This process, though, calls for having a centralized assessment situation where each town would have been revaled once every 5 years. And unfortunately, it was a great plan, but at the time, we couldn't get the support that it needed. It was a lot of meat in there. There was a lot of things that has to be understood, but Mrs. Prendergast wants to do the modern technology, which I'm all in favor of. And make that very clear. I'm totally in agreement with what she was proposing. And that's why I think as many people that can attend the February 19th meeting at 10 o'clock at the old courthouse, she's going to explain this process. And of course, she's ordered basically every town in the county to do a reval. Our committee seen this coming 10 years ago. And here we are, because you have to remember one thing that you want to keep in mind. Accurate assessments equals fairness in taxes. That's the key. Accurate assessments equals fairness in taxes. That's the only way you can do it on a fair basis. And you have to have the up-to-date sales, good sales, what they consider good sales, not sales to a family member or whatever, but good, solid market sales to determine values. So it's a rather deep subject, and but it's something that we need to do. I talked to her about a lot of different topics, and we'll give this an airing out on February 19th. So if you can attend, if your staff or your city can attend, I think it's well worth our time. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you. I know Commissioner Bertino?
Thank you. Along those lines too, not to belabor the point, the digital mapping and stuff that's available today with the, satellites and stuff, you could do the reevaluations in a more efficient, cost-effective manner across than going into somebody's home, which is ridiculous because you'll never get in there because everybody works. So I think her approach to it now is actually pretty solid and actually makes sense.
Yeah.
And it'll, as the commissioners both indicated, they'll create a much fairer way of doing it, a more timely one, so that the cost on the municipality to do multi-million-dollar contracts to do revals won't have to be done that way.
Yeah.
But it will require state legislation changes because the legislation doesn't permit you to do that type of work today.
Right. So we'll definitely need county and state coordination on that. And I mean, I think a number of us have served locally when we've had to pay that bill on a reval. I did in Hamilton, I know.
We all
And it-
choked on it.
Yeah, it's onerous, and I think it is time to kind of modernize the approach. And it's not that people are at work all day to get in; it's they don't want to let you in the door, and I don't blame them. You know, so, yeah.
No, thank you. I know I was in a meeting with and Mayor Capola from Galloway mentioned his concern about the cost of the reval, and then the process. Talk about the calendar. The process of revals at the height of the market, and then the appeals that may come flooding in, I think was his concern, because when the township strikes their budget, then the appeals come later.
Yeah.
That's something that has to be, I think, addressed through legislation as well, possibly.
We
would be-
did talk.
I'm
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's based on the old model.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these guys have not heard. I think if they go to the meeting the 19th and understand
Right.
the concept that we're talking about today, which is a little bit different than what they're all accustomed to.
Yeah.
They all know the old model. We all know that one. We've all done them. So.
And Terry did talk about also the market. They don't expect there to be a bust anytime soon. So they did say that, we think we're at a kind of stable place where these values are going to hold their values for quite a bit now. So.
Awesome. Hopefully you can get out to the meeting on the 19th.
Mhm.
All right. Any other
Chairman?
reports? Yes.
Yeah,
Commissioner
just one
Bertino.
quick one. Bridges and Roads Committee met recently. We did an update on all the existing projects and the proposed ones for this coming year. It's pretty extensive. You should be seeing the minutes completed shortly. I believe we'll be getting them, but I just want to make the board aware. Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertino. Any
Mr. Chair, I'm
unfinished business or special
Still in
committee?
committee.
Okay. Mr. Parker.
This is for the Culture and Heritage Affairs. The Great Egg Harbor Township Historic Society invites you to the MK Betterment Wall of History open house ceremony, Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. It's at noon to 2 p.m. at the McKee City Betterment Building, 6 Atlas Lane, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Light lunch available. RSVP info at GEHTHS Museum, MUSEUM.org. And I'll just read this down at the bottom just to give a little plug to our Culture and Heritage Affairs. Kim, I don't know if Kim's on, Jerry.
I think she was. I don't know if she's still.
Okay, well, I'll do it for her. So funding has been made possible in part by the New Jersey Historical Commission, a division of cultural affairs within the Department of State, through funds administered by the Atlantic County Office of Culture and Heritage Affairs. So that's one of our departments and committees that work together in sort of a shared service to help preserve some history right in Egg Harbor Township. So we should all be kind of interested to go out there and see what work we've been a part of.
Fantastic. Thank you.
On the 22nd, February 22nd.
Any other reports
Also,
committees
while I
of the
have
board?
it, Mr.
Go
Chair,
ahead.
I'll just also put this out there in conjunction with that work. There's also going to be the 2025 New Jersey Amistad Summer Institute is going to be held at Stockton, Atlantic City. That's going to be August 4th through 7th. We're working with Dr. Phil Gunther at ACIT with their visual arts program, and he's very excited to work with this. They're talking about doing a virtual field trip to all the sites in Atlantic County that have historical significance to African American history. And then next year, I know they're going to be doing Latino history and indigenous history, and they're going to just keep it going. So we're trying to marker and highlight all of the historically relevant sites here in Atlantic County. And through the partnership with Phil Gunther and the visual arts, bringing the students involved, they're going to come out and film it and create some sort of virtual field trip. So even if you can't get there, we'll have that produced for anyone to watch.
That's awesome.
Question, regarding next year, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
Absolutely.
Are we working on something on the,
Absolutely.
that keys in on that as well?
Absolutely.
Secret.
I won't speak too much about it. Is Kim still on? But it is in conversation.
Okay, good.
And
good.
Dr. Phil Gunther is very, as you guys know, he's very excited about working with us in getting the students involved and helping in whatever we decide that we're going to do.
Okay.
So
Sounds good. Students from all over the county, or just ACI?
ACI too.
Okay.
It's a lot of work to get all the superintendents to say yes.
Fantastic.
It's a pretty common good, though, I would say, the Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of Independence.
All right. Any other special committees of the board? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Okay, moving on to public comment. Anyone attending in person that would like to speak now at public comment, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and the town you reside. If you are attending virtually and would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand. I will call upon your name and the request to unmute will be sent. Please state your name and the town you reside. You will be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. Any public comment? All right. Going to close public comment.
So moved.
Any comments for the good of the order? I just have one thing I wanted to say, kind of connected to your comments about the history of the area. We had Mr. Ralph Hunter was at my school yesterday with his the African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey, and he's done a phenomenal job bringing it in. He did say that he's looking to have someone else take over it in a couple of years, but if you can get out to the Noyes Museum and take a look at that museum, he has some very interesting and eye-opening pieces, and they're mostly centered around Atlantic City and Southern New Jersey, but a lot of it's Atlantic County history. So I don't know how many years in a row he's been there, but 87 years young, and the guy's phenomenal. So quite an interesting conversation. So
I can remember when it was just an idea for him, a concept, and we were raising money for him, going to backyard barbecues all over the place in the county, and it literally started from raising money in grassroots from that way. And so to see him have the success that he's had is pretty amazing. He's also going to be a part of both the Amistad Commission, the Summer Institute. He's going to be coming over to speak. And we talked about doing a field trip, but it gets a little bit technical with insurance when you're providing transportation and things like that. So that's where we had the idea to bring the visual arts students in and get the students involved, and maybe we'll do a virtual field trip to some of these sites, but he's absolutely working with us.
No, that's great. It's great to see him and his traveling museum yesterday. Any other comments for the good of the order? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
The second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting's adjourned.